Newcastle stay third in the table. They keep Champions League hopes well and truly alive. Everton's winless run, though, goes on. They stay 19th.
I mean, kind of given the price tag, you would hope 70 million they paid for him, but I didn't expect it. And when he's been good as an out-and-out striker, he's been good as playing as part of a two-pronged attack. He has been simply outstanding, and the confidence from Newcastle from back to front, as I say, has been absolutely fantastic to witness. This team is playing some of the best football in the league right now, and I keep going back to, I thought Villa were outstanding in their performance against Newcastle, but talk about taking one on your chin and just bouncing back. This Newcastle team is made of very stern stuff.
That was one of the great runs, certainly of this season, but maybe in the last few years, from Alexander Isak. But I don't think Sean Dyche would see it that way. I don't think he walked in the dressing room and went, well, that was a great run, wasn't it, lads? I mean, that just summed Everton up, you know. As good as that was, there must have been 4 Everton jerseys around them at one point, almost in the corner flag. But Newcastle, as Shaq said, they had that little down at Villa Park. They came back, that's 11 goals in 2 games. They had to weather the early energy from Everton. Yeah. It wasn't much more.
It was an energy. You're absolutely right.
It was energy. It wasn't much more, because in the final third, unless Dwight McNeil's thrown it in, a decent cross, the rest of it's pretty clueless. That's not a slight on Sean Dyche. That's the players that they've got. But I think the top 4 for me is set, and I think Newcastle, as Shaq said a few weeks ago,
I guaranteed it.
Guaranteed.
Well, Eddie Howe won't say that. He said he doesn't want to get. He said he doesn't want to get their hopes up too much about the Champions League. Do not deny us, Geordies abroad. It's done, isn't it, Shaka?
That's why I'm here, Kate, because Eddie Howe won't say it. I guaranteed it. Listen, I just think Newcastle right now are just playing so well with so much confidence. Have a tough few games between now and the end of the season, but I just feel, and especially when you look at what's around and a little bit of gap that they have themselves with the chasing pack, I don't see anything but a top 4 finish. As far as what's to come for the others, Manchester United, who are having a little bit of the last few results have not been great. Took penalties against Brighton. They now have Villa and Brighton themselves in the league, and then they have a pretty easy run in Wolves, West Ham and Fulham and Southampton. Those are games you expect United to win. Even this version of Manchester United, who probably not in the worst slump form of the season. You just feel for the likes of Brighton, given the VAR decisions, and Aston Villa, who've just found this form under Unai Emery just a little bit too late. The others just have too much of a gap.
There's the Shaka guarantee for Champions League football next year for Newcastle. They've got the money, Jules. Are they going to spend it this summer?
It'd be very interesting to see what they do. I mean, we kind of expected them to spend big earlier, especially that first transfer window after Eddie Howe arrived December of the year before last, of course, and they didn't. They made clever signings, the likes of Dan Burn, of course. I mean, Chris Wood was a bit different, and Bruno Guimaraes especially, but even that was a really good price for the player that he is. Then, of course, Isak, as Shaka mentioned, at 70 million was the most expensive that they spent. But again, they didn't go and spend 100 million, 110 there and there, even if you put it all together. So obviously this summer, if there is the Champions League to play next season, will be different because you need a bigger squad and a better squad overall to be able to compete in the league and in Europe. So they would take that in consideration. But I think they will keep the same strategy. And Dan Ashworth, the sporting director, has done a really good job with Eddie Howe and the team of recruitment, Andy Howe as well, who is Eddie's nephew, who is shaping it all up. I think they've got names already on their shortlist. They've started already talking, negotiating, because they know that maybe some of the players will also be on shortlist of a club like Liverpool, for example, or maybe Arsenal. So they would have to be in early. But there's no reason why they would do a different job than what they've done in the last 2 transfer windows, which has been very positive.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.